Ladies and gentlemen, Gulshan Devaiah joining me for a quick chat on CNN News 18. Gulshan, welcome on CNN News 18. Thank you so much for talking to us. First of
Thank you.
all, congratulations for the second season of Duranga. Why should our viewers be watching it? We can already see good words pouring in, and I'm waiting to watch it. But you tell me, why should I be watching it?
Well, if I'm expected to give reasons to people, then here are my reasons. Season one ended at a point where it's very obvious that there is a lot more of the story ahead, and a very important character has woken up from his slumber, or rather coma, in season one. So, in the form of Amit Sadh. And now that he's woken up, he's definitely going to impact the story in some crazy ways. So how crazy remains to be seen. So that's point number two. Point number three is that the season one did enormously well for all of us, for Z5 and all of us individually also, and it really impacted positively. Um, our careers were very impacted. So if something does well, which means that a lot of people have seen it, and if a lot of people have seen it, and if the story has more to say, more to unravel, then I think people will be curious. And this curiosity I have been experiencing since last year. We came out in August 2022 with season one. Uh, by the time it was November, people were demanding season two. Now that we have season two, so it's almost one can safely assume that people were waiting to watch this, so they will definitely watch this.
Definitely,
So
it looks quite promising too.
for all the people who haven't seen season one, so people have been desperately waiting for it. There must be a good reason for that. So maybe you should check it out. Check us out too.
Yeah, I've seen season one. I'm waiting to see season two because I'm quite caught up with the work here. But it's looking very
Yeah.
promising, and I heard really good word about it as well. So I'm going to watch it. But Gulshan, let's go to the beginning of your journey from the fashion world to Bollywood. How did that happen? You always aspired to become an actor, or you had some other plans for you?
I fell in love with cinema at a very young age and the world of cinema. And I think I'm an only child, so I lived mostly in my imagination. And cinema definitely, gives you the, tools to sort of, create some fantastic uh, worlds in your imagination. And I grew up in the South. I was born and raised in Bangalore. But my parents had a very special love for Hindi film music, and that's what I would listen to most of the time growing up. Um, so I think through the music, I fell in love with the cinema, and then I started sort of, and it was a stupid fantasy when I was a young boy, and then I started to realize that. My parents are very artistically inclined. They're very much into theater and music and the arts and writing and poetry and all that. Both of my parents are quite skilled at it. So I inherited some of their talents because that's the environment I grew up in. In school, I was encouraged to sort of, perform, be it a song, singing alone, or like with people, or be it dance, or any other kind of, short performances or plays. I was very encouraged, and the teachers did see that I had an aptitude for it. I had a certain talent for it, and
Right.
I enjoyed it as well. So if you enjoy something, then you get better at it.
Right.
So at some point in time, I think it just I had to push it down the toilet, saying that this is just a stupid dream, and one can never be serious about this being your profession.
Hmm.
But then at some other point, I kind of I kind of unflushed the toilet. This is not going very well now, is it? My analogies are not very appetizing.
It's going very well.
Yeah.
It's going
So
amazingly
then,
well.
then I said, like, I have to give it a shot. I must give it a shot. Um, I I couldn't get I didn't have the good fortune to study acting or drama, but I read a lot of books and I worked with people who taught me a lot in
Hmm.
Bangalore, a
Right.
lot of theatre because so then I moved in 2008 to Mumbai and I gave it a shot. I was lucky. I got good people gave me good opportunities, and one of them was Rohan Sippy, with whom I did Duranga season two.
Yes, definitely. And also, Gulshan, as you mentioned theatrics, I know for a fact that you have a theatrical background. You did theaters for a brief period of time. What do you think is that main difference in an actor who is coming from the theaters background, who learned it from the very root
Yeah.
level, and the one who learned it in the private classes, acting classes, or maybe given an opportunity by somebody who belongs to the film fraternity in their family?
Well, the craft is the same, and then when you go to an institute that teaches the craft, then they have it's like homeschooling versus going to a good school, a highly rated school
Hmm.
with very qualified and good teachers. So it's always better because they have a delivery system that they have worked out so that people understand the craft. So if one gets an opportunity to go to a good drama school or an acting school, one should definitely do that. I just didn't have that. I had
Hmm.
to, but I wanted to learn. So uh, what can I do to learn? I can watch good performances. I can watch other actors and see why they're doing what they're doing. I can read
Hmm.
books. And now, of course, we have the internet, so we have lots of tutorials, and a whole lot of information is available, which wasn't available to me in the mid to late 90s. So I had to make do with books that I borrowed from people who had them, and some experienced directors who taught me about the craft,
Hmm.
about theater, about acting. The craft is the same, and on stage it's a bit more pronounced because we don't get close-ups over there. You have to the performance volume is always much higher because it has to be audible to everybody present, and sometimes certain theaters have about 500, 600, sometimes even 1,000 people, so it has to
Hmm.
be reachable to all of them. You don't have to do that when you're performing in front of the camera because the sound is separately recorded and it's mixed by other people, and those it's balanced. So you can
Hmm.
actually, the use of the craft is the same, but you can be a lot more subtler with how you exercise the craft. This is the basic difference. People who work within the business, like the entertainment business, they definitely have one advantage, a couple of advantages, but the main ones being that they know how it works. They know how
Hmm.
perception is so important. They know how, if not consciously, they understand that merit cannot exist in the arts. It's about how people perceive you, and it's about
Right.
majority consensus. They understand how things work, how the film business works, how money is raised, how money is spent, how somebody's perceived value is better than others, and all of those things, how the distribution business works, and all of those things they have, they know. That's a clear advantage, and of course they have access to things as well,
Right.
which for somebody like me or Tapsi or Rajkumar, we have to learn from the scratch.
Hmm. Hmm.
But we
Right.
have to learn.
Definitely, that's the key. Now, circling back towards Duranga, what popped up in your mind when you first saw the script when it came to your way?
I thought it was a rather difficult part, and I was very curious to see how I would interpret it. And
Hmm.
I thought it can be a very entertaining show with a lot of scope for a nuanced performance. And
Right.
I wasn't aware to what extent Amit Sadh would be associated with the script because I had not read season two when we made season one. In fact, I wasn't even signed on for season two when we made season one. So, but I was curious to see where this will progress.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
also, Pradeep Sarkar was one of the directors from season one, so that was definitely a thing, a point of interest, a major point of interest for me.
Hmm.
And yeah, so these things.
Right. Lovely. Also, I want to ask you, how did the life changed after that girl in yellow boots?
Uh, Attention, like a lot of people gave me attention. Attention is worth its currency when you, and it's like a giant spotlight. Is what you make of it is something that can vary from person to person. And I think I
I
was
think we lost connection. We lost connection in between a
okay.
little
I'll
bit.
just repeat.
Yeah.
Just repeat.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, that girl in yellow boots got me a lot of attention. Actually, that year 2011, I had three films. Yellow
Hmm.
Boots, although credit-wise, it's my first film, but it released third in line. The first one was
Okay.
Damaradam, then Shaitan, and all of these films got a lot of attention. Outlook magazine wanted to put a whole bunch of us on the cover and things like that, which is always a nice thing. And on your debut year, I was nominated for all sorts of debut awards.
Hmm.
Uh, Many famous people would come and tell me how much they appreciate my performance, and all of this kind of validation and attention. People want to work with you, agencies get in touch with you. You're sitting in a room with 15, 16 people who are all showering praises because they want to sign you on as a talent to represent you. So I think I was a little inept at channelizing this attention. I didn't know how to do it. I was a bit intimidated by it, but to somebody else, I think this attention is really valuable. and that's what it got. It was a great opportunity given to me by some wonderful people, Anurag Kashyap and Kalki. They were making a movie together. Anurag trusted me, Kalki trusted me. They gave me this opportunity, and I think I did good with that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. You performed really well. Also, we want to ask you about your role in Badhai, though. Would you like to talk about that a little bit? How
Yeah,
difficult was that
absolutely.
role for
Not at
you?
all. It's the easiest thing that I've ever done. Because when you work with good people, talented people who are very well versed, very experienced, and all you have to do is just go there and just play with them. And that's exactly what we did. I'm asked a lot about what my approach was, and my approach was to not overcomplicate it and keep it
Hmm.
simple.
Hmm.
If two people are in love, then I need to just focus on that. The sexuality of the person is of no consequence. I just
Definitely.
have to fall in love with this person and be a little naughty, because that's what my character was, in order to provoke the other person. That's all I was doing. And Raj was the wonderful actor that he is. He just responded to me, and I responded to what he did. We were at the able hands of Harshvardhan, who was
Hmm.
a fantastic director with whom I had made Hunter before. So, all good
Definitely.
people.
And you have worked with Rajkumar again for Guns and
Yeah,
Gulabs
3 times
also.
now. Yeah, three
Yeah.
times.
How was the experience? Also, I want to ask you because this was legendary Satish Kaushik ji's last project. I want to ask you, when you all heard about his sudden demise, what was the feeling there amongst the people who were there, who worked with him, who became the part of his last project?
Yeah, yeah. Do you know the statue of the little Buddha? A lot of people keep a statue of
Yes,
little Buddha in the house. No?
yes, yes,
It always
yes.
has a gigantic smile, has a most friendly and lively and warm appearance.
Hmm.
That's who he was. He always had a big smile on his face, and he was extremely warm and generous. He spent time talking to all of us. It is really unfortunate that I never got to work with him, as in share screen space with him. He had wanted to make a movie with me once, but that didn't come to fruition. Uh, but I remember him that way, and I think most people who know him also remember him that way, to be this very joyous person with a big smile and a warm, genuine smile in his eyes and on his face. Yeah. And it was sad. It was sad, but he will be remembered as that very fondly. I think people don't have anything bad to say about him, and that's a great way to go.
Legendary is the word. Legendary actor. We will not be able to forget him. But Gulshan, you have played so many kind of roles so far. You have done action, you have done thriller, you have done comedy, you have done adult comedy also. You have been an antagonist, you have been a protagonist. If
Yeah,
I ask you which
I've been
character that you have played,
no, I've
which
done. I played
character?
a monster. I've done a guest appearance. Like all sorts of stuff.
Yes, like you're so versatile. You have played
Thank you. Thank you.
so many roles so far. Which character would you say was the most difficult one? Because I personally loved watching you as Atmaram, Charkat Atmaram.
Thank you.
What a
That was
dhinchak role you got.
yeah, it was a great part. I think any actor would have played that part would have been like a hit with the audiences, because it's such a wonderful part and so shrouded in mystery. Um, um, the one that I'm the proudest of, and I would say was the most difficult, was Ghost Stories with Dibakar Banerjee. His portion of Ghost Stories. I don't know if you watched it. It's available on Netflix. It released early 2020 in
Mm-hmm.
January. And it's all a whole bunch of directors. It's an anthology. So one portion of it was directed by Dibakar, and I play Riya ke Papa. There's no name. It just says Alpha, but then his daughter's name is Riya, and then it's a monster film, and I play it's full body. I am proud of it, because the degree of difficulty was that I had to do things that I had never done before. I had to learn how to move in a full body prosthetic suit, which everything is glued to you, and it would take nearly 3.5 to 4 hours to get ready, and about an hour and a half to get out of it. So 7 days of filming in the rains, and the suit doesn't work in the rain. So sometimes I'm just giving one shot and running for cover. It was really challenging. It was mentally and physically extremely challenging, and I developed a certain respect for actors who do this kind of work. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
so who do
Definitely.
prosthetic work. It's very difficult. It's really difficult. And I had lenses which kind of made me almost blind. I couldn't see them because they were painted lenses. It
Oh,
was quite challenging. I lost about 3 kilos just from sweating.
oh my God. Sounds quite difficult. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm proud of that. And I think it's the best film in the anthology. That's my opinion. And I
Hmm.
was really happy to work with one of the best storytellers we have in the business, Divakar Banerjee.
Definitely. Also, I want to ask you, how did the life change after COVID era?
A lot of perspectives I got because that time it gave us time. It gave me time to think about many things and change my perspectives, get over disappointments and course correct myself, change a few things.
Hmm.
I to be better, and it really gave me the opportunity to let go of things also, be it personal relationship or be it professionally also. It just gave me time to have the right perspectives that is healthy for me.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so I say it uh, very personally. I really enjoyed that phase, being by myself. I did. It wasn't great at all for many people, but I did. I really enjoyed it because I think it gave me the time to reflect on things, on a whole lot of things, because you have nothing to do. You have time.
Hmm.
So think about a variety of things, and that really helped me, find a sense of balance.
Hmm. Hmm. थोड़ा सा लाइट जाते हैं अब. I want to
Ah,
ask you, your bio is quite interesting.
yeah, yeah,
Instagram and उस पे Twitter पे सेम ही है. Funny आदमी है आप. हम बात भी कर रहे थे इस बारे में initially before we
yeah.
started this interview. I want you to tell our viewers what does that exactly mean?
I've just stolen the line from a film. It's a very famous dialogue from a wonderful film, and I've just stolen that, and I can sort of it represents me. It's there are 2 3 layers to it. Like Versoka Versace is an alter ego that's like very recent. It's just like a little bit flashy, and it's a way for me to connect with my fashion background. I studied fashion, so I like dressing up. So I wear my own clothes, I style myself. So, and Warsaw Versace is a bit flashy form. I live in Warsaw, so in Mumbai, so I am the Versace of Warsaw. And this is also not original. A person I
And
know who's an
ladies
art.
and ladies tailoring.
Ladies tailoring is that's what I used to do. I used to be in the fashion business in the garment industry, and
Yeah.
predominantly I made women's clothing. So the black belt in it, and I was quite
Black
good
belt
at it.
in ladies tailoring.
Yeah, I was quite good at it. So I think that's just a humorous way of me, sort of remembering where I came from. And the first line is just me. I think I'm more comfortable with who I am, and a lot of my sense of humor is quite silly, and many times I laugh at my jokes, and most people don't do. But I'm not so bothered by it. I think I'm able to express myself a lot more freely also now that I'm a bit more self-assured and I'm more comfortable with who I am. So I think that line kind of represents that, and I think I'm a closet stand-up comedian.
Fair enough. Nicely put there. We have moved to our last section of this interview, which is a rapid fire round. I have a few questions that I've jotted down for you. First
Okay.
up, first is the song that you are currently listening to or you're hooked to.
No, yeah, it's a song called Tera Mera Pyar by Falguni Pathak and Neeraj Sridhar. It's an old song. It's not really a new song. And the reason why I'm hooked onto it now because I went to her show during Navratri. They
Saw
were
that.
promoting. Yeah. And then I was like, in case they ask me to sing a song, I should know the lyrics. So I would just listen to that song all the time. So I remembered it. And I did. They asked me to sing, and I sang 2 3 lines over there. So in front of 30,000 people. So I was like really happy that I sang the song. Not so out of tune. It was pretty much in tune. It wasn't the greatest rendition, but then it was at least in tune.
Lovely. Okay, last movie that you watched.
uh, was the Killers of the Flower.
Okay. Your favorite co-stars because you have worked with so many prominent actors
It's
now.
really it's so unfair to pick one. It's absolutely really is unfair.
But you'll have to give me an answer because this is a rapid fire round.
I
You'll
would
have to
say
give me
Kalki.
one.
Kalki
Kalki?
Ketla.
Okay.
I mean, she's
Uh,
the dear friend, and I love her. I've done so much work with her on stage, and I think, yeah. So I think, yeah.
okay, she's a dear friend, but who is your best friend in B Town?
Well, I am my own best friend,
Okay,
but
fair enough. You're
yeah,
trying
but
to
I really
play safe.
enjoy working.
Hmm.
I think a personal rapport, if you have a great personal rapport, if you know somebody, I mean, because we argue about things also, me and Kalki, and that really helps us create sort of nuanced relationships on screen also, because we know each other so well. I also know what ticks her off, and like, she can be really irritating sometimes and annoying, and I can annoy her, and we use that. And but there is a I mean, she lives in Goa now, so I miss her. I just recently met her very briefly, but I do miss her, and that there's a that deep sense of love that we have for each other. I think so. That's why I said Kalki. I would pick. Uh, I work with a lot of wonderful actors, but I think maybe because I miss her now, she's not living close by anymore, is why I choose to pick her.
Last but not the least, if I ask you uh, that the Diwali is also coming, and
Yeah.
we have a lot of viewers watching you, what would be your wish for them?
Eat nice food, share nice food with people, celebrate the festival of lights, put a smile on your face, and if you can, put a smile on other people's faces.
Lovely,
Just
lovely, Gulshan. Thank you so much for joining us here for the quick chat. It was lovely having you here with us.
my
And
pleasure.
all the best for Duranga 2 and all the upcoming projects. We are looking out for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you so much.